Hi, I'm Mike Devereaux, Partner and Director of Manufacturing, Distribution, and Plastics Industry Services with Mueller Prost. There are three types of expenditures that are eligible for the research tax credit. The first is wages. The second is supplies or materials used in the conduct of research. And finally, contract research, where I pay a third party to perform research on my behalf. Wages can qualify for the research tax credit in three ways. The first is where an employee is engaging in qualified research. That could be an engineer that's considering different design alternatives related to the development or improvement of a product or process. The second category would be direct support, employees that are directly supporting the qualified research activities of another employee. For instance, a machinist could be machining a prototype that might get tested by another employee in the quality department. And finally, direct supervision can qualify. Employees that are directly supervising the qualified research activities of another can also benefit from this credit. Supplies and materials that are used in the conduct of research can qualify for this credit. Most custom manufacturers are developing prototypes and pilot models, and the development, including the labor and the materials that go into that development, can qualify for this tax credit. Contract research expenditures can qualify for this credit. So payments that are made to third parties for the performance of qualified research on a taxpayer's behalf are eligible. I get to include 65% of those costs as long as I have a substantial right to that research and I pay for the research regardless of its outcome. It does not matter whether the results of the research are sold to a customer or used in your business. If the design is uncertain at the time the taxpayer is incurring the expenditures for wages or materials related to a prototype, that can qualify. The 2014 Treasury regulations were very impactful for custom manufacturers. These Treasury regulations were issued as a result of the IRS losing court cases with respect to taxpayers selling their prototypes. But the Treasury regulations went one step further. They said it's irrelevant whether the results of your research are sold to a customer or used in your business. So now, custom manufacturers that might be developing their own pilot models or prototypes and using them in their business can now qualify those expenditures for the tax credit. Custom manufacturers are a good candidate for the research tax credit because they're constantly innovating. We see this in our clients' development work all the time. It's a misnomer to say that custom manufacturers are not performing qualified research, and that comes from a misunderstanding of the Treasury regulations. They understand that the capability is not uncertain, and many times they have a methodology for eliminating design uncertainty. But the design is uncertain at the outset of the research, and elimination of that design uncertainty can qualify for the credit. We're Mueller Prost, and we advise with vision.